Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday, the 8th day of June 2026. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. Hope your families are safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the area of health along with first responders doing all they can every day to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children who are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Those that are victims of prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that create the perverted demands that cause these evil industries to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, military veterans, homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's going to be a basketball game tonight in Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks will be playing at 8:30 p.m. this evening the San Antonio Spurs in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks, according to BSPN, are favored 58-42. This is the thing, and this is the first game in a while that the Knicks have been favored. This is the first game in these finals the Knicks have been favored. The reason I'm so excited about the Knicks' prospects of getting this chip is because of their attitude. You ask Jalen Brunson to hug the Larry O'Brien trophy, he said no. You ask Josh Hart, what does it feel like to be up 2-0 in the finals? He said, as far as we are concerned, it's 0-0. And the biggest game of the year is Monday in New York. You ask Victor Wembanyama, I didn't play a good game, I can play better. You ask Dylan Harper, I think for me, he starts off. You ask any of them and they think like that. This is the thing. The NBA is a star-driven league. And so spectators are looking for entertainment from people that will entertain them. And so generally what the league does is highlight individuals to get people to watch the individuals. And in that watching, and that clicking, and that commercial money, there's a lot of money to be made, okay? And that's how the media and the league makes money. But in terms of winning championship basketball, it takes a team. And what happened, the San Antonio Spurs are caught up in the individual talents of Dylan Harper, and individual talents of Victor Wembanyama, and individual talents of Stephon Castle, so on and so forth, instead of how they are functioning as a team. And there is no respect for the pressure of the NBA Finals. Victor Wembanyama said we should play as normal and we'll win. This is not play as normal. Not only is this the league, this is the finals. The Knicks always are speaking in terms of we. What their mindset is, what we think about it, how we're going to do it. The Spurs are thinking in terms of individuals. That mindset alone is going to lose them the series. Okay? And you still got diehard Spurs fans that see and feel what I'm telling you and still stick with their team, which is commendable, okay? It's commendable because they're jumping on an early bandwagon because they can see the future with this young core developing together into championship material. But let me tell you, there was a young guy named Michael Jordan. Maybe you wasn't around when he came in the league out of North Carolina, but he was unstoppable. He could do everything, both sides of the basketball. Okay, and against the Celtics, he came off a broken foot injury to score over 60 in the playoffs against the Celtics. But for 7 years, his first 7 years in the league, he did not win a championship. For all his wonderful individual talents, he did not win a championship. And the reason is he had to learn to utilize team. Scottie Pippen comes along, John Paxson comes along, Steve Kerr comes along. You know, you get pieces, and then you utilize those pieces together to win. And they started winning, obviously. Okay, that's what was concerning to the Lakers about Kobe Bryant. The Lakers were looking to win championships. They had won 5 in the 80s with Magic in them. You didn't have to tell Magic about team. You didn't have to tell Worthy and them about team, Jabbar. But Kobe didn't understand that concept because from high school, he had been so overly dominant. And he was so confident in the work he put in that he felt like he could dominate in the league. And so at 17 he was when he was drafted into the league. And he started pulling from deep threes, doing crazy stuff as a rookie. And he was driving Shaq crazy because Shaq wanted a chip. Once Kobe Bryant got more into team, they started winning. And he got more into it because Shaq was on him hard. When they lost to Detroit in the finals, Kobe was going off. Like he was getting 40 a game. He was traveling from the court case in Colorado to the finals and dropping 40. But they weren't winning because Detroit had a team. But you look at the individual talents on that 04 team. They had Kobe, they had Shaq, they had Carl from Utah. They had a lot of dudes that you all-stars on that team. Okay? But they ain't beat Detroit because Detroit played as a team. The Knicks are playing as a team. The league is trying to paint Brunson as this all-world dude, and I'm not saying he's not, but the reason they are dominating this series is because Brunson humbled himself to give the ball to Cat and let the offense run through Cat. And everybody is playing their team role to win. Now, I'm concerned tonight, and several of you Trump tards came on my channel, and you're going to get blasted right away trying to defend the president wanting to come to the game because James Dolan invited him. Listen, he's the president of the United States. I can't stand him, but he's still the president of the United States. Any place he shows up, he's going to suck the air out the room. You got to have Secret Service. You got to have special details. You got special security where he shows up. It's the worst thing in the world for him to come to the Knicks game today. He's going to take all of the energy away from the floor, the team, the fans, so he can have the attention. That's selfish. That's not leadership. That's selfish. So Trump is going to disrupt it tonight. Okay? I just am more concerned with how the refs are going to do. There's no Tony Brothers. There's no Tyler Ford, right? So hopefully the Knicks have a chance because they tried their best, Tony Brothers and Tyler Ford, to give that game to the Spurs on Friday, and the Spurs still lost. They tried their best. Tonight it's Scott Foster, Curtis Blair, and J.B. DeRosa. That's who they have tonight. I don't see Tony Brothers in there. Not that these cats are angels either, but Tony Brothers, I feel they got to investigate him. And Tyler Ford too. And when they ref together, it's a problem for the Knicks. But tonight, they're not. And one thing about having a veteran team that is mature is not only the fact that they understand to win this thing, they got to look at it 0-0 every game, focus on the game at hand, focus on the details of your game plan. And the Knicks have done that. And they don't care about, it's going to be a large MSG crowd. They're going to get the energy from whatever they could get despite the orange president being there. But that's not, whether they're in San Antonio or MSG, they so focused on what they got to do. Whereas the young Spurs have never dealt with this before. They were tripping. It was a Wembanyama turnover that won the game for the Knicks on Friday. In a pressure situation on his home floor. And the one, imagine that was New York. Brunson turns the ball over in the last 60 seconds of the game and it cost the Knicks a game in the final. We'd never hear the end of that. It'd be trade Brunson time. Or Cat, be trade Cat time. Or if it's McCall, all them 5 picks, it'd be all of that. But here in San Antonio, sleepy San Antonio, okay. But it was the pressure that got to him. Okay, it was the pressure of playing in the finals in your home floor, down 1-0 and facing 2-0 that caused him to do that dumbass pass. Stephon Castle wasn't even looking for the ball. Now, in Madison Square Garden tonight, Brunson, Cat, McCall, they're gonna be hungry and sharp and hungry and desperate to win this game tonight. Okay? They don't care if the president's in the room or whose mother is there. They're gonna be focused. Karl Anthony Towns gonna be thinking his mother's there though, and that's gonna be an edge to the Knicks. And really, in terms of how the Knicks are playing, in terms of their game plan, the Spurs still don't have an answer. See, they're depending on the individual talents of Victor to bail them out. Dylan Harper said, I think I could do, I'm going to play. Okay. See, that's what happens when you get youngins. They start having some moments on the big screen, and they think they own everything. The Knicks just professional, business-like, going about what they got to do, game plan. And this is what we've been kind of concerned with all season, sticking to game plan. Part of the problem earlier in the year was that Mike Brown was still figuring out what he has on his roster. And then they had trouble sticking with game plan, especially Brunson. He would go off script, and that would cost the Knicks games. See, in the league, talent is so high, you could go off script and still win a lot of games. In the season, that's what San Antonio got 60 wins, 62 wins this year. That's serious. But once you learn what the script is, you learn your role in the script, and you stick with it, and you got a superior team, that's a formula for domination, which is why the Knicks have won 13 in a row. 13 in a row. Okay? So tonight, it's going to be a dogfight. San Antonio is going to be desperate. The Knicks are going to be desperate. It's going to be a dogfight at the Garden tonight. Brunson mentioned again, taking their foot off the gas, understanding they had a 14-point lead Friday and let San Antonio come back. Don't think that's going to happen again. Not with a veteran team. No, the goal for the Spurs is just a basic goal that I'm always talking about for any NBA game, but especially this is true in the finals. They want to stay close until the fourth quarter. Then they want to give their closers, which is really Harper, Wembanyama, and Castle. They want to get, and of course, also let's not forget Vassell. They want to give these guys a chance in the end of the fourth quarter to pull it out. On the road, you just want to stay close. That's what the Knicks were doing to the Spurs, staying on their shoulder in the whole game until it was time to close it out. And then, of course, the Knicks have I don't care about Wembanyama, the Knicks got the greatest closer in the NBA, Jalen Brunson. Period. So tonight, Spurs want to flip the script, try to stay close to the Knicks. So the key thing here is you want to see how close it is. Generally speaking, the team that's the better team, generally the team that's got the edge on a particular night, is going to keep stretching the lead to a certain point. Like, let's say it's a 7-point game or 8-point game. Then the Spurs would make a run, make it a 4-point game. The Knicks would stretch it back to 7 to 8. The Spurs make a run, make it a 2-point game. The Knicks stretch it back to 7 to 8. And it continues like that to the fourth quarter. But what happened Friday, that's what was going on. And then suddenly it became 14. See, when it's 14-point lead, the team that has the 14-point lead wants to hit this magic number, 20. If they can get it to 20, their odds of maintaining that lead in spite of a run are overwhelming, especially the Knicks. Okay? That is why it was such a great disappointment to Cleveland to be up 22 and lose to New York. That was deflating. That was deflating for the rest of the season, as you saw. They were talking all this, can you come back and all that, but obviously they didn't. It was 4-0. So that's the thing tonight to watch. The Knicks want to get a lead. Spurs want to stay with them. If the Spurs are able to stay with them, it's going to be a very close game coming into the fourth quarter. And I still give the Knicks the edge because we got Jalen Brunson, and they don't. But it will become a real problem in San Antonio if that lead starts to stretch at any point in the game. It could be first quarter, second, third, fourth. If it goes up to a certain amount, it's going to be a problem for whoever's down. Okay? The thing about the Knicks, though, as we have seen multiple times, they stay cool, they stay focused, they stay professional, and they keep grinding. You can't discourage them. They keep coming at you, no matter what the score is. And we've seen it on both sides. Jalen Brunson will go full tilt, even when they're getting ready to lose a game. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm giving the edge to New York because of the factors of their attitude, their game plan, their professionalism, and sticking with the game plan. And the fact that the Spurs still do not have an answer for Karl Anthony Towns. If it wasn't for Tony Brothers and Tyler Ford, Karl Anthony Towns would have dominated the Spurs and the Knicks would have dominated them Friday. It was Brothers and Ford that kept the Spurs in the game. If you didn't have 4 fouls on Cat, it was a wrap, okay? And so we're going to see what's the boy's name again tonight? Curtis Blair, Scott Foster, J.B. DeRosa, and then Nick Buchert is the alternate. We're going to see how they do that. If they are fair tonight, like if the free throws are pretty even, okay, the Knicks have the edge. Okay, because they got all of the games, all of the things you need, the intangibles. They got the talent. They got the game plan. They got the maturity. They got all the intangibles a team needs to get a dub in these situations. Okay, so Victor Wembanyama could get a 40-20 game. He's done that against the Knicks before, 40 and 20. That was the game the Knicks lost to them last year in the season when JB had 61 and was playing hero ball. And it was a close loss, okay? You ain't going to catch J-Dub doing that tonight. It's going to go through Cat, and the Knicks have been very consistent this whole playoffs about that. Go through Cat, let everything flow. And you're seeing how I'm going to call the roadrunner doing business when the ball is flowing, okay? He's at his best when the ball is flowing. And you want a piece like him, a championship piece, an ancillary piece, to be flowing with all of y'all flowing because the ball is flowing. So they had 29 assists on Friday. I'm looking for something like that today. Keep the turnovers down. Keep the assists up. Play physical defense. The game plan against Wembanyama is whoever they're outside, when they switch, if it's Brunson even, you block him, you physically, you check him when he's trying to run through the lane for a layup dunk. You put a check on him. You put some body on him. They did that. I'm expecting more of that. In the case of the Spurs, you're going to want to really put Wembanyama in a situation where he's got to work hard for his shots. And if he's in the mindset of he's going to try to play hero. And they're going to lose. If he understands to back off and let his teammates take over, and he becomes a playmaker, more of a playmaker, that's good. On the Knicks side, Mitchell Robinson, Wembanyama don't want to see him. Karl Anthony Towns, Wembanyama don't want to see him on either side of the ball. They want to get Wembanyama switched on to Brunson if they can. Okay, they want to attack the paint. Harper has been the most effective against the Knicks in this series at getting in the paint. Stephon Castle was against Oklahoma City, but Harper is in this series. So you want to really check him in terms of the paint. Stop him from getting in the paint. Make him a jump shooter. You want to make Wembanyama a jump shooter, so he could be an effective jump shooter, but unless Mr. Robinson is guarding him. And you want that. Protect your paint, get in their paint, be hard on the glass, and of course, go through counts and move the basketball. The Spurs don't have an answer for that game plan. They just don't. Okay? So tonight, 8:30, the ball goes up. Big game for the Knicks. Big game again for the Spurs. The Knicks win this game. It's 3-0. It's a wrap. Spurs win this game, they might be able to come back in the series, though I don't think they will. But they might be able to. Okay? The Knicks have an 80% chance of winning the finals, having won 2 games in San Antonio. San Antonio has got to win a game in New York to stay in this series. They got to. Okay? Just like they really had to win Friday. They did not let New York come back up here 2-0. But they didn't. So tonight, the Spurs are in a must-win situation. Everybody's like they back up against the wall. It's different having your back up against the wall in the Western Conference Finals against OKC with no J-Dub. Come on. No A.J. Mitchell. Come on. Many people just overlooking that. They beat the defending champ. Yeah, they did. And the Knicks beating their ass too. Okay? But this is the finals. This ain't the conference finals. This is the finals. Okay? This is it. This is for the marbles right here. So they are feeling that. You could tell by the Wembanyama turnover late in the game Friday. They're not admitting it, but they're feeling that. They really are. So tonight, you're going to watch a San Antonio team play desperate. You're going to watch a Knicks team play disciplined. Desperation versus discipline. That's what it's going to come down to. Okay? And you're going to see. The good thing is, even if San Antonio gets a lead and starts to stretch it, you know and I know the Knicks ain't out of it. Not until the final buzzer, because why? We got Jalen Brunson. But if the Knicks get a lead, ooh, we'll see. But anyway, enjoy the game as much as you can. It's hard. I know it's hard for us Knicks fans because we tasting it right now. We tasting it. The Knicks are trying to keep us cool, telling us it's one game at a time, it's 0-0, this is a big game. And they're right. But we tasting it. I'm tasting it. When I'm watching San Antonio's interviews, I know they have no clue. See, when San Antonio does win the chip, you're going to hear them talking more like the Knicks, giving their opponent all the respect, giving their opponent all the praise, and saying what they as a team has to do, not what they as individuals have to do. Okay? But the Knicks are in that vibe right now. We trying to get this chip. So I say, y'all know, let's go get this chip. Talk to y'all later. Sure.